So I think specifically in Australia, if you look at the recruitment focus at the moment, we definitely do have a skill shortage here because we've been in a lockdown scenario for quite some time and borders have been closed. So you definitely would hear of the phrase sort of war for talent going on. And where it used to be a very much a candidate short market or the company was in the driver's seat, I think it's definitely changed now. And part of that is also in relation to what that candidate is looking for from a company that they're joining. So if they've got, 5 or 6 different companies as an option, what differentiates one from the other? So I think that at the moment, they're definitely in the driver's seat, and we definitely have a challenge from an HR perspective about how to bring that candidate in the door. In terms of, I would say, employee engagement, it's an interesting term. I think it means quite a lot of different things. Definitely when you think of like what makes someone engaged, it's probably changed a lot since the pandemic hit. So I would say people are looking for that well-rounded experience at work. So a company that definitely doesn't differentiate between work and home life. I think that concept's really just gone out the door and is non-existent now, especially for a lot of us who are still working from home. That transparency over one's personal life is just, it's there every day. And it's not something that we can hide or should hide anymore. Definitely a lot of elements to do with flexibility and well-being and how that company is actually talking about these issues in a real, authentic, transparent way rather than just to tick a box. I think, if a company's not really delving in these issues in a real way, it can be quite obvious to someone like a potential candidate. I think it's also, what is that company going to offer me in terms of my career? I mean, this always comes up as a sticking point for us. But I think it's also, it's even more important now because people are looking for that, as I said, that very much well-rounded experience. And it's not to say, we need to have an answer to that the second someone starts with the company, but that onboarding is still exceptionally important. And that relationship that you have with your manager has never been more important, to have that really close relationship where your manager actually takes an interest in you as a person. And how it is at work, like what is the environment that you're in, how inclusive is it, how much joy you actually getting out of the work that you're doing, is the role that you're doing playing to your strengths, is someone actually invested in your career is really important as well. So there are a lot of challenges for us now in the HR space. In terms of performance management, I think that's also taken a really big shift as well. What I've noticed with the pandemic is that layer of complexity, or I would say not being honest, has definitely gone. People are a lot more real with their feelings. They feel a lot more comfortable to be quite candid and direct in their feedback, and just not care if what they're saying is confronting or if they're asking for things that they're never used to. So I think we need to get used to that as well. That feedback has just become really part of the norm, part of the conversation, and embrace it. And just be courageous about it. So it's not just, your annual performance review at the end of the year anymore. It's that ongoing conversation that you're having with your manager on a regular basis, is probably where I've seen the shift. Well, for some of us, we're not in post-pandemic yet, but I would imagine those that are, or in some sort of semi-pandemic, it's you're going to have people that just don't want to let it go, like just aren't going to be able to snap back into how things were beforehand and pretend it all didn't happen. And you're going to need to take those people on that change curve or on that journey and be really upfront and deal with whatever residual issues have come from the pandemic. And then there will be people that just put it behind them who, don't want to talk about it anymore, and just, it's something from the past. So I think as a leader, you're going to have very different reactions to the pandemic, and you're going to have to be very adaptable and flex in your approach depending on, what your employee's going through. I think also, gotten used to working from home. We've gotten used to seeing our family. We've gotten used to like wearing the clothes that we wear and, you know, having a lot of us time. You know, there's no commutes and, you know, what does that look like for someone returning to the office? Like, is that going to be a hybrid model, or how are we going to treat that? You know, where we've all had so much luxury to just go to the doctor when we need to, or, you know, go do the washing if we need to. How are we going to transition back to what's normal? So there are, and I don't think it's a quick fix either. I think it's going to be something that like takes us time to figure out. And I think if you go on the journey with someone rather than try and have it sorted out straight away, you're probably going to have a lot more success with it.